Hey scholars, today we're going to be talking about math lesson 1. So remember, we do 2 math lessons per video, so don't leave right when the first math lesson's over because I will have another math lesson on there. So what we're going to do is I'm going to mirror my screen and show you exactly what we're going to do. Okay, there it is. Oh, it's mirrored. Perfect. So we're going to compare two 3-digit numbers to two 3-digit numbers using greater than, less than, or equal. So let's start with a little bit of warm up. We're going to use the disk method for this, okay? So which number is less, 105 or 135? So let's go ahead and get our place value, disks out, and remember the disks are all around the same size. And we have a 100 disk, a 10 disk, and a 1 disk. So 105, well, let's start from right to left. So 5 is in the ones, so we need 5 ones disks. 0 is in the tens disk. Is in the 10 spot, so we need 0 tens disks. And there's 100 disks. And see, look, it's the same size as the other ones. All right. Now with 135, let's try that. So again, there's 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But this one's a little different. It has 3 tens. So there's a 3 in the 10 spot, which means we need 3 disks, all with 10 in them. And hundreds, there's still a 100 disk. Now, in order to compare these, we just compare from left to right. So let's compare hundreds first. Well, there's one 100 here and one 100 here, right? So they're equal still. Now we go to the next spot, tens. There are 0 tens here and 3 tens here. Look, there's a difference in numbers. So if there's a difference in numbers, the one with the bigger number is going to be the bigger number. So there are 3 tens in this one, and there are 0 tens in this one. Therefore, 105 is less than 135. And if you notice, we didn't even have to fill out this one because we already knew from this spot. All right, our next part, draw the following numbers using place value disks and answer the questions below. Oh, it might help if I put numbers. All right, so we have 241, 412, and 126. So let's start from right to left. 241, there is 1, 1. There are 4 tens. And how many hundreds are there? There are 2 hundreds. All right, 420, 412. How many ones are there? Oops. There are 2. How many tens are there? There is 1. How many hundreds are there? There are 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 126. How many ones are there? There are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going up. 1. Well, 6. We want to do this to keep it looking like a 10 frame. How many tens are there? 2. And how many hundreds are there? 1. Now, the cool thing is we can even compare three things if we want to. So we put our place values in, that was part one. Now we're gonna order from least to greatest. So least means the smallest number is gonna be on this side, and the biggest number is gonna be on this side. Okay. So let's compare again from right to left like we did last time. 241 has 200s. 412 has 1, 2, 3, 4. 400s. 126 has 100. So my question to you is, are any of these the same? No, they're not. And because they're not the same, and this is the biggest part of the number, we can actually compare here. So now what we can do is we can look at the numbers, and the biggest one out of these three numbers will be the biggest number, and the smallest one out of the smallest number out of these three will be the smallest. This is because the numbers are different in the first column, the biggest column. So let's look at the smallest first, since it's saying from least to greatest. What is smallest? 241, which has a 2, 412, which has a 4, or 126, which has a 1? 126, because it has a 1. Oops. What's the second smallest one? 241 with a 2 or 412 with a 4? 241, because 2 is smaller than 4. And that just leaves 412. Awesome. All right, next one. And our final part for this part of the lesson, the next lesson will come, is we're going to look at some problems and circle what makes the most sense. All right, 112 is less than or greater than 135. Well, the ones are the same in the 100s place, but in the tens place, this 1 is different than this 3. What is bigger, 1 or 3? 3. So 112 is less than 135. B. 475 is less than or greater than 457. Let's look. Well, the 4s are the same in the hundreds. Oh, but the 7 and the 5 are different. What's bigger, the 7 or the 5 in the tens place? The 7. So 475 is greater than 457? I think so. Remember, if the bigger number's here in the beginning, it's greater than. If the bigger number's at the end, it's less than. All right, 152 is less than or greater than 157. Well, let's check it. These ones are the same. I'm even going to compare them like this. That way we can see. The ones are the same. The 5s are the same. Do we know which one's bigger yet? No. But the 2 and the 7 are different. Is the 2 bigger or is the 7? The 7. So 152 is less than 157. Now we have 300 plus 60 plus 5 is less than / greater than 635. This one is going to be a seesaw question or a notebook question, whichever one you'd rather use. Go ahead and write down whether it's less than or greater than, and then this one is also going to be a seesaw question. Actually, not. Actually, let's do this one together. So pause the video and fill out this question and then restart it. Don't restart it, I'm sorry. Just come back. All right. E, 4 10s and 2 1s is greater than or less than 24. Well, let's go ahead and look. So I'm going to write it over here. So 4 10s is equal to 40. And 2 1s is equal to 2. 40 plus 2 equals 42. So let's line them up. 42 and 24. What's bigger, 4 or 2? 4. So 4 tens and 2 ones is greater than 24. All right, awesome. So I'm going to stop this share, and in a couple seconds, the next lesson will pop up. See you guys in a few. Bye. All right, welcome back to part 2 of our lesson 1 for week 21. We're going to go over something that's pretty similar to what we went over in the last lesson, except we're going to add a new interesting part to it. So let's go ahead and look. After I mirror my screen, the objective for this lesson is almost the same as the other. We're comparing two 3-digit numbers using the less than, greater than, and equal sign. But this time we're working when there are more than 9 ones or 9 tens. So that means that we're going to have to do some converting like we've done in earlier videos. So let's look. In this problem, we have 13 ones and 2 hundreds. And we want to figure out if it's greater than, less than, or equal to 12 tens and 8 ones. So this is really hard to look at just this way because there's more than 10 ones, they're out of order, and there's more than 10 tens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a place value chart, and we're going to use the disks to find it. So I'm going to go a little shorthand this time, and instead of writing out the whole hundreds, tens, and ones, I'm just going to write an H for 100, a T for 10, and an O for 1. Same thing here. And we want to create this chart, so this part of the problem will go to this chart, and this part of the problem will go down to this chart over here. So first, we have 13 ones. So let's go ahead and draw 13 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Don't forget to put your 1 in there. And now we need 2 hundreds. Well, that's not too bad. 1, 2. Now let's compare with 12 tens and 8 ones. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This one, there's going to be a lot of filling up tens. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. And it says it wants 8 ones as well. And notice how I'm organizing my ones. Oh, Mr. Cannon made a little mistake. He forgot to add the 3 ones at the end. No biggie. He'll just do that now. But over here, I need 8 ones. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice I'm filling them out like a 10 frame. I'm having 5 and 5 together. And then when I get the 5 and 5, I'm starting a new one, a new row. And that's because I want you to see that there are tens, and tens are easier to convert. So in order for us to be able to compare these effectively, we have to convert everything to its lowest, to its biggest form. So for example, notice I have 10 ones fit in this 10 frame. These 10 ones can be exchanged for 110. Now, if I have 10 pennies and I give them to you and you give me a dime, you don't have those pennies anymore. Or you don't have, yeah, the pennies don't exist anymore in one person's hand. So we have a dime. If you want to call it a dime, I'm just going to call it a disc from now on. I just wanted to give you a money analogy in case that helped you. Is now that these 10 ones turned into a dime. So if you notice on this side, we have 110, so we don't need to convert. We have 200s, we don't need to convert. And we have 3 ones now that we did convert. So we have our final answer here, which is 213. 213. Let's look at the other one. Do we need to mess with the ones at all? No, because ones are equal to 8 right here. And since they are equal to 8, we don't need to convert any extra ones into 10 because we don't have enough. How about these 10s? Well, let's look. I have a complete number frame right here, or a complete 10 frame. And when you have a complete 10 frame, you can convert. So 10 10s turn into 100. All right, and we don't have these 10s anymore because we converted them, we exchanged them. So now we're left with 100, 2 10s, and 8 1s. So now how we're going to compare these to see which one is greater than, less than, or equal to, because that is what we're trying to figure out here. We're going to compare with each value starting with the biggest place. So we're going to start with our hundreds. So we have a 2 here, and we have a 1 here. Well, 2 is greater than 1. And since this 2 is greater than this 1, and they're both in the hundreds spot, that means that 13 ones and 2 hundreds is greater than 12 tens and 8 ones. This tens place does not matter, and this 1 place does not matter in terms of which one is greater, because the hundreds is greater. All right, let's look at another one. We have 236 is greater than, less than, or equal to 23 tens and 5 ones. So we're going to do the same thing we did last time. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see the whole thing. So remember, I'm going to put an H for 100, a T for 10, and an O for ones. I'm going to put an H for 100, a T for 10, and an O for 1. All right. 236, that's a number in standard form. So we could just fill out in place value because that's in standard form. So there's not going to be any excess tens or hundreds or ones. So we have 2 hundreds. We have 3 tens. And we have 6 ones. Going down 5, coming back up, and putting in that 6th one. Over here, we have 23 tens and 5 ones. So I'm going to have to draw 23 tens. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I've drawn 10 of the 23. $11, $12, $13, $14, $15, $16, $17, $18, $19, $20. And I'm going to go off of the grid because it doesn't matter as long as I'm below it, that's fine. I would never mark you down if you went under. And then we have our 3 tens. So 21, 22, 23, and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have less than 10 here, so we don't need to make any changes here. Less than 10 tens here, and less than 10 100s here, so we don't need to make those changes. We have less than 10 ones here because we have 5, but here we need to do a couple changes, right? So we have 10 tens here. I can convert that into a 100 chip. We have 10 tens here. I can convert that to another 100 chip. And that leaves us with those 3 tens down there. So let's compare. So let's look at the hundreds first. Well, I have 2 hundreds on this side. And I have 2 hundreds on this side. Those are equal. So we need to go look at the next category, the tens. So let's go ahead and look at the tens. So I have 3 tens on this side, and I have 3 tens on this side. Oops, I gave you the answer already. 3 tens is equal to 3 tens. Now, let's look at the hundreds category. And the arrows I'm doing, you don't have to do. I'm just showing them to show you how the comparisons are going. So over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 ones. And over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over here we have 5 ones. What is bigger, 6 or 5? 6 is bigger. And since 6 is bigger, this entire number is bigger than this entire number. So let's go back up here. 236 is greater than 23 tens and 5 ones. Awesome. So I'm going to give you guys one to try, and I'm actually going to change these numbers because I want you guys to be able to try one that you've seen. So you have 100, you have 1 in the hundreds place, and you have 2 in the ones place. Over here, you have 11 tens and 3 ones. On your seesaw, with the other problem that you've already done in this video, I want you to say which one is greater than or less than, and I want to see your number chart. I would recommend drawing it on a piece of paper. So I'll actually help you out, give you the number chart that you can look at. I recommend drawing on a piece of paper and taking a picture of it, because this one will be kind of hard to do with the seesaw. All right, so go ahead and pause the video and try that one out, and then continue the video after you're finished with that. Okay, I'm going to stop my share, and that'll be the last part of the video. So good luck, and this stuff may seem a little confusing, but of course, as always, we'll go over it in class as much as we can, and just give it your best shot. It's okay if you're wrong right now. We will fill in those gaps when you come into class. All right. Thank you for watching lesson 1, and we'll see you later. Have a good day.